Here we go again. The video that disappeared off my YouTube site. Don't know why it did that. I never did anything to it, so here we go. Let's have a look. Why was this taken off?
Well, what you got there, Crazy Dave? TV licensing. Ooh, bad. Well, this is the envelope you get when you don't have a TV license for a number of years. They send them every couple of months. So from now on, people, what I want you to do, those who get sick and tired of receiving these things, like they're saying you're a liar or something, just put return to sender, unwanted, junk mail. That's all you gotta do. Return to sender, unwanted junk mail. Don't even open the envelope. You know what's inside there. They're accusing you of lying to them when you're not. It's part of the protest, people. There's millions of you out there who are receiving these from TV licensing, and just return them to them. A couple of million people doing that every time they get them. Post office are going to get pissed off with having them all. TV licensing are going to have to pay for the postage, and maybe you can cause a little bit of a mayhem for them that way. So yeah, anybody who gets these from the BBC, send it back, unwanted junk mail. I'm not a liar. I haven't got a TV. Okay, it's sad, I know. Really, if it wasn't a monopoly, I would have a TV, and I'd be watching those free independent channels. And why not, eh? They get paid for by advertising, so why can't I watch them? Come on, Mr. Rodri Morgan, Mr. Gordon Brown, about time to end the BBC's monopoly, isn't it? For all those. Well, you've just taken the 10p tax rate off. There we go.
Well, there we have it. That's the one that was taken off. Don't know why. It was. What's the matter with this now? Ooh, video camera's gone funny. There we go. Not to worry. So yeah, the dreaded BBC. You know, it's like this Gaza thing and the Israelis and the Palestinians and the biased reporting on the BBC. They know that the Palestinians are being starved out in their concentration camp that they got in Gaza. They know that they weren't getting medical supplies through. I wonder what the BBC staff would have done if they'd been living in Gaza and they couldn't get food for their kids, or they couldn't get medical attention for their grandmothers or their mothers or their kids. Wouldn't they, if somebody said, excuse me, will you shoot a rocket over there to say, hello world, they're starving us again and they're not allowing us medical attention again in this concentration camp they got running here in Gaza? And the UN, when is the UN ever going to have sanctions against Israel? When are they ever going to freeze their bank accounts so that they can't commit this genocide on these people? But you don't hear the BBC talking much about that aspect of the current conflict, do you? What would you do if you saw your kids starving? What would you do if you saw your mother dying needlessly because there's no medical attention because of the Israelis? Wouldn't you think, well, hello UN, we got to fire these rockets to wake people up? The UN knew what the Israelis were doing. The Americans know what the Israelis were doing. The British government knew what the Israelis were doing, starving them out, denying them medical assistance, did nothing. And then it's, it's a legitimate response. Bullshit. The people in the UN ought to be in The Hague being sued for neglecting those Palestinian people. That's what the real news ought to be on the BBC. And the BBC ought to be in the face of the British government and say, excuse me, why didn't you help these people when they first started chucking rockets over there? Because they were being starved out, because they were being denied medical attention. But the BBC, well, all shtum about that. So yeah, another reason for not paying any license fee is the biased reporting on the BBC. Like, did you notice the Leanne Wood interview and don't have Crazy Dave's banner behind their back? Oh no. That's the BBC for you people. Biased reporting. I call them a bunch of bullshitting cunts, but there we go. That's me. Don't pay it. Refuse to pay it. Email your MPs and say, I'm sick and tired of the BBC's monopoly. And it's a pity Mr. Branson of Virgin Media didn't speak out about it in the press, because I'm sure they listen to him a lot more than they have been listening to me over the last few years. So yeah, do it people, copy paste, send it to your MP, assembly member, whatever, local councils even. Why aren't local councils across the UK turning around and saying, excuse me, we want our rent revenue accounts done the same way as housing association or private landlord accounts? Why aren't they saying, we don't want our poor people prosecuted in courts anymore for non-payment of the BBC licence fee, because it's a friggin' monopoly, and somebody invent a gizmo that goes on the TV that blocks their signal? Thank you very much everybody, and remember, BBC, the lying sons of bitches.